What angered me the most, I think, about that day were these insurrectionists in suits and ties who were still, even after the bloody insurrection, even after all the shattered glass and the death of that day, were back on the House floor trying to overturn the election.
You're saying insurrectionists in suit and ties. You're talking about the Republicans in Congress? I
am, because unlike those people climbing outside the building, they knew it was a lie.
Right.
The true believers were out there, attacking the building. But inside the chamber, my Republican colleagues know it's a big lie. When Steve Scalise appears on TV like he did on Sunday and can't answer the question whether the election was stolen, it's not because he doesn't know the answer. Right. It's because, like all of the GOP leadership right now in the Congress, they are deathly afraid of crossing Donald Trump. And that is what has our democracy so fragile, that people are not living up to their oath of office.
Is Kevin McCarthy an insurrectionist in a suit and tie?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Kevin McCarthy, as I talk about in the book, this is someone who I had a private conversation with years ago, went to the press, completely misrepresented it, and I confronted him about it on the House floor. And he says to me, because I said, Kevin, you know that I said the exact opposite of what you told the press? He says, yeah, I know, Adam, but you know how it goes. And that's how he operates.
But you know how it goes? I know it's a lie, and I know the violence was, actually, incited by the President of the United States and his minions. I know that, the President and Paul Gosar and Andy Biggs and me and Bannon and Stone and Giuliani and Sidney Powell and Josh Hawley and, John Eastman wrote the memo that was, the roadmap to the insurrection. And, I know that Scott Perry of Pennsylvania and Jim Jordan of Ohio all knew the truth, but they liked the radicalization of their base. They liked it. Now they're afraid of it. Now they've activated them so much that they can't deactivate them. They can't turn it off. They can't turn it down. And Facebook and OAN and Fox News and the other seriously psycho right-wing talk show hosts, some of them know better, some of them don't, some of them care to know, some of them don't. They are literally constantly activating these people to do violent things, whether it's something that's happening or something that's not happening, whether it's over critical race theory, which isn't happening, or it's over COVID vaccines, which are happening. We will agitate and make them so angry that they will do violent things. And now we don't know how to turn them off. We just don't. We released the hounds, and now we can't herd them. We just don't know how to herd them back into a pen. We don't know what to do with these brainwashed people. We don't know what to do. The steady stream of bullcrap, it's just not coming from here. It's coming from troll farms in Macedonia. It's coming from troll farms in St. Petersburg. It's coming. You think that Iran and China and others that don't wish us well aren't now turned on by the fact that Americans can be brainwashed so super easily to overthrow their own government? And that there are friendly terrorists in suit and tie that still serve in the House? Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, Josh Hawley, Andy Biggs, Paul Gosar. You got these lunatic, fringy people. Like I said, some know better, some don't. But they like this game. They want to keep playing this game. This is the Squid Game game. Okay? This is for the poorly educated, right? I love the poorly educated. This was aimed right at them. And it was, hey, listen, your lot in life isn't great, so die. And I mean it, die playing this game. Just go ahead and die. If you win, I don't know what you will have won, but if you lose, you're dead in the vaccine game. If you lose, you're dead in the insurrection game, right? But play the game. It's much more fun than not playing the game. And hey, if you don't play, you can't win. But what will you have won? Somalia? This coup attempt is far from finished. This game is just beginning. And it is creepy, but it is a game. That's all it is. The name of the report that I'm reading that's making me tell you this is called Subverting Justice. It is almost it's 394 pages. It was released last week by the Senate Judiciary Committee, not the House, the Senate Judiciary Committee. And it clearly has the goods on our disgraced former mistake of a president, Donald Trump. He was actively trying to overturn the will of the people. He was actively trying to steal. You know, when they say stop the steal, he was the one that was stealing it. He was trying to steal this election. He committed sedition. What's important about that? Well, there's a few things that are important about that. Sedition is a unbelievably murderous crime. But a person in this here country who has committed sedition cannot hold office. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, that was enacted right after the Civil War. What do we do with the traitors? What do we do with the people who committed treason? What do we do with the secessionists? What do we do with the people that literally wanted to break America? What do we do with the Confederates? What do we do? Well, you know what we do? We make it illegal to do what they did. So they wrote into Section 3 of the 14th Amendment that anyone who, and I quote, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States to support the Constitution of the United States, and then shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion or given aid and comfort to enemies is prohibited from holding office. And that is why it's so important that every American understand what happened and that Donald Trump cannot hold office ever again. And that we clean house of those insurrectionists in suits and ties. That we hold them to the same constitutional standard as we hold ourselves. And we disqualify them from being members of the House, members of the Senate, and God knows from ever holding any office ever again. That is the clear purpose of that particular section of the Constitution. It is to keep people exactly like Donald Trump and Scott Perry and Paul Gosar and Andy Biggs and Jim Jordan and Josh Hawley and all the other miscreants, Steve Scalise, who's now part of it, okay? It's to keep them, after they've shown themselves to be traitors to our union, from ever holding public office again. That's the only reason why it's being pursued. If Donald Trump would have gone quietly into that night, if Donald Trump just would have said, you know, I lost, that's it, I'm out, I don't think this investigation would have happened, even though it was something that totally needed to be investigated, because I have not seen the Capitol of the United States attacked ever. I've read about it, you know, like in the War of 1812, but it wasn't Americans, it was the British. This has never happened. Never. And I would love for everyone to understand what the root cause of it was and how that message got disseminated on such a grand scale. I would love for people to understand media. I would love for them to understand Facebook and algorithms, and the script is already written for you. I would love that. But it wouldn't be necessary. It wouldn't be something that we had to pursue all these many months later if Donald Trump didn't give that, if he didn't have that rally in Iowa that he had Saturday night, where he said he wants to take America back again, or whatever the hell he said, and he made it very clear that he's running for president. If he didn't do that, we wouldn't have to do what we have to do to preserve and defend this democracy. But he has put it all on the line. And by all, I mean democracy itself. The law. The law. That is why we're having this very difficult conversation amongst ourselves now about how do we get people to honor a subpoena, a congressional subpoena. How do we get them to comply with the law of the United States of America? They don't even want to comply with the law of the United States of America. They think they got this, and that this is no longer America, and therefore the laws don't matter. They don't have to appear because they've been subpoenaed. They don't have to turn over documents because they were the recipients of a ducus tecum subpoena, meaning produce the documents. No. Screw America. Screw a nation of laws. This is a nation of us. Us. These are subversives. These are the people that you think I am, right? You think I'm a subversive if you don't agree with anything I said today. You think I'm the problem. Trust me, I'm not going to overthrow my government. I am not going to say I alone can fix it. And I am not going to be investigated for sedition. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.